In the 3rd century, Rome was bleeding from every border, an empire on the edge of ruin. Invasions, plagues, rebellions, disaster struck Rome like wildfire. The economy crumbled, cities starved, and trust in the empire vanished. Inside the Senate, panic replaced order. Every man feared the empire's end. Into this chaos stepped Gallienus, a man born for command, yet cursed by fate. He was a philosopher, a strategist, a rare emperor of both mind and might. But the empire demanded more than brilliance. It demanded impossible strength. His father, Emperor Valerian, fought desperately to hold the East. Gallienus faced threats no emperor could defeat alone. Plague swept through Rome, killing thousands without mercy. Entire cities fell, some to enemies, others to starvation and revolt. But the greatest danger Gallienus faced was not beyond Rome's walls. It waited in silence, hidden in shadows, watching him. Whispers followed Gallienus wherever he went. The empire he inherited was a giant collapsing under its own weight. Yet Gallienus refused to surrender, not to enemies, not to fate. He rallied armies shattered by fear and despair. Against all odds, he fought to hold Rome together. Piece by piece, the world he ruled was crumbling, and the greatest threat of all slept beside him. Inside the marble walls of Rome's palace, danger wore a gentle smile. Empress Salonina, wife of Gallienus, held power even kings feared. She was elegant, intelligent, and impossibly ambitious. But her loyalty to the emperor was far from pure. Whispers spread in the palace, rumors of betrayal, plots in the dark. Gallienus saw the empire crumbling, unaware his own home was poisoned. Advisors circled Salonina, feeding her dreams of absolute power, and she listened, carefully. Power-hungry generals saw her as their key to control. They showed her the empire's weaknesses and Gallienus's biggest mistakes. To them, she was the empress who could decide the empire's future. To her, they were tools, nothing more. When Gallienus looked at her, he saw a loving wife, but behind her smile lived a storm. She touched him with affection, yet planned his downfall. The emperor trusted her more than any general, but trust is poison when given to the wrong heart. Piece by piece, she erased the emperor's legacy. Her ambition had become a weapon sharper than any Roman blade, and soon she would use it against her own husband. Gallienus was loved by the people, but blind to the danger beside him. He trusted the empress more than any general or advisor. But Rome was crumbling. Rebellions flared in every corner of the empire. So the emperor leaned on the one person he believed would never betray him. He shared military secrets, unaware they were being used against him. To the world, she looked loyal, but her eyes told a different story. Even Rome's senators played along, hiding their schemes. Every signature he made unknowingly pushed him closer to ruin. Meanwhile, Salonina mapped the empire's loyalties for her own plan. He saw a partner. She saw an opportunity. Gallienus still believed he commanded loyalty from his armies, but many of those soldiers secretly followed someone else. Messages flowed to her constantly, updates on the emperor's weaknesses. He believed his circle protected him, but it was already corrupted. Weapons were being sharpened, but not for Rome's enemies. The emperor sensed trouble, but trusted the wrong people. War, famine, chaos all weighed on him. And in those shadows, plans to destroy him grew stronger. He spoke of saving Rome, she thought of replacing him. Gallienus had no idea the greatest threat slept beside him. The seeds of betrayal had already taken root, and the empress began choosing who would join her. Generals met in shadows, whispering treason. Salonina tested every officer, searching for those hungry for power. Messages moved silently through the empire, carrying the plans that would doom the emperor. Every night, more men joined the silent rebellion, and at the heart of it stood the empress. Galenius still trusted those who plotted his downfall. Loyal guards were bought one by one. Weapons were being prepared for a different kind of battle. In Rome's underbelly, oaths of treason were sworn. Some joined willingly, seeking power. Others joined out of fear, knowing refusal meant death. Gold flowed like blood, buying silence and loyalty. Rome itself felt the storm that was coming, and the empress penned the command that sealed the emperor's fate. Every conspirator now awaited only one signal. Time was running out for the emperor. The trap was set. Betrayal was now inevitable. Night fell over the Roman camp, heavy with treachery. The final act of betrayal was moments away. Emperor Gallienus had no idea death was approaching. Even his closest officers had turned against him. Fear mixed with ambition in every traitor's heart. The empress had sent her final signal. Gallienus stepped into the night, unaware. Behind him, the circle of betrayal closed silently. One nod, and the plan began. They attacked swiftly, without warning. He recognized the faces of men he trusted. Dragged like a criminal, the emperor still fought. A grave waited for him, prepared hours earlier. They threw him into the earth like a broken statue. Shovels moved fast, burying him alive. The emperor's final sight was the dirt of betrayal. In silence, the traitors completed their grim task. Not a single man dared to look back. Under that mound lay the emperor who trusted too much, and Rome's fate shifted forever that night. Rome trembled the moment Gallienus took his last breath. Power shifted violently, faster than the empire could react. Claudius II rose, not by destiny, but by blood. He inherited an empire on the edge of collapse. The Goths were marching, an unstoppable wave of destruction. They amassed in numbers Rome had never seen. But Claudius forged his legions into iron. He refused to let Rome drown in fear. The clash would decide the fate of an empire. Claudius unleashed Rome's fury. Steel screamed across the battlefield. Claudius fought like a man possessed. The mighty Gothic host began to crumble. Victory roared through the Roman ranks, but triumph carried a heavy price. The field was soaked with Roman sacrifice. The Goths scattered across the horizon. Claudius emerged from the fire as Rome's new savior. The legions hailed him as the empire's shield. Rome lived another day because Claudius did not break. He awoke in a grave, trapped between life and death. The earth crushed his limbs like a tightening fist. Above him, the night watched like a merciless god. He heard voices, the guards sealing his fate. They believed their emperor was already dead, and Salonina, she had given the order. He fought the suffocating earth with fading strength. His fingers tore against stone and root. Every breath was a battle, every second slipping away. His scream drowned beneath the choking soil. The grave rose around him like a tomb of betrayal. Not the generals, not the Senate, but his own wife had condemned him. Buried alive, stripped of honor, a dying emperor drowning in darkness. The empire turned its back and walked away. Silence swallowed the final breaths of Rome's ruler. No witnesses, no farewell, only the night. His struggle faded, swallowed by the earth, and so the Emperor of Rome died alone beneath the soil. When news of Gallienus's death reached Rome, the city trembled. The Senate felt relief, as if a weight had been lifted. but loyal soldiers mourned the emperor who fought beside them. The people felt only silence. Rome had forgotten stability. Claudius II ascended the throne. Salanina vanished from public life, a ghost of the palace. Her name survived only in whispers, fear and disgust entwined. Historians argued for centuries, was she mastermind or accomplice? Yet legends formed of an empress who buried her husband alive. And soon, Rome discovered a darker truth. Without Gallienus, the crisis only deepened. It was he who had held the empire together. His reforms would save Rome, but not in his lifetime. Time revealed what the living could not see. In death, he became what he never was in life. A tragic hero reborn through legacy. A martyr of Roman politics. An emperor betrayed by the one he trusted most. Rome never forgave the ones who orchestrated his fall, for in the end, betrayal buried the emperor who saved an empire.